You didn't believe me, did you?
Oh, God.
You thought I was joking? You thought I was joking?!
No, God, no. I did not.
I warned you I would do this. You wouldn't shut up about Nightmare on Elm Street. Now you're gonna watch the remake. The remake!
No. Oh, no.
That's right.
Anything but that.
Yeah, no.
I'll be good. I'll do better. I'll be a law-abiding citizen. No more ultra-violence. Not for me, no.
Too late. Too late!
I don't know, Jesse. You think you could turn back time?
Stop! It's a sin! It's a sin! Why is the scotch tape so strong?
You're my number one.
It's a sin! You must stop it now! Robert Van England has never done anything to hurt anyone. Beautiful, beautiful Robert!
That is delicious.
My milkshake!
Do you like fun and adventure? Then sit back and enjoy the Brothers Not Lovers as they discuss all things movies. What's overrated or underrated? What makes you go really? Or how dare you? Or even just simply how funny this movie can be. You have the insightful, intuitive Davey, who is awesome. And you have the film bestie, Josh. He's there.
Hi, I'm Davey, and I'm awesome. And, oh, sorry.
Dude. Ah! You've had me here for 2 days! 2! Help me get the rest of this off. Ow, ow, ow. Ah! It's in my hair.
Like a Band-Aid.
Ah! You know what? I've had nothing to do this last 2 days while you were sitting there watching TV, ignoring me as if you didn't know I was here. Ah! What the hell kind of scotch tape is this?
Really good scotch tape.
Ah!
Can't believe it held for 2 days. Or even 2 minutes. Ha! Is my face red?
Ugh. I had nothing to drink for 2 days. Not one beer. You know what sobriety feels like? I know how to spell Robert's name.
And this is Josh, the film bestie.
What up? I gotta pee.
And this is
How dare you!
a show where we defend movies and TV shows that have been incessantly bashed throughout the years.
How do you keep doing that? Let me try.
How dare you?
Thunberg again? I hate you. Can't you make it sound like the Maniac Cop, but like, how dare you? For me? Maybe Ken Lindsay?
Author of the Gavin English series and the River Runes, available at kenlindsaybooks.com.
Can I? Yes. Will I? No!
I don't know why I do this show. I want my giggles back.
So, for our first How Dare You? A classic comedy from probably my favorite comedy movie maker of all time, Mel Brooks.
He is the greatest.
Now the thing is, a lot of his movies, turns out they didn't do very well when they first released them, but later gained cult followings. This is one that to this day still doesn't have a huge cult following. And I don't understand why, because it is an extremely funny and very well put together movie called Life Stinks.
I think this one was closer to being one of his more serious, with the comedy element.
Right. This wasn't one of the goofy slapstick ones that he was used to.
Yeah. And it starred Leslie Ann Warren.
Right. It was a good movie. It was a movie about a rich snob who looks down on the lower class and the poor. And he gets into a bet with another rich man that he couldn't survive an entire month as a homeless man. He takes him up on the bet, and it's one of those, fish out of water, seeing the other side of the coin type comedies where he gets to experience what it's like being poor, gets a new perspective on it. And, well, hilarity ensues. Especially when you see an old Jewish man trying to rap on the side of the street.
On top of the hilarity, there's also some heartfelt moments.
Oh yeah.
There's some sadness.
Yeah.
And it's a good wake-up call for those of you who lack empathy for those less fortunate.
Yeah, it really is. But again, the biggest complaint people had was like, oh, I like Spaceballs and Men in Tights. I don't have any room in my life for a Mel Brooks movie that actually has a consistent story. Shut up!
Your 11s are up. See you later.
Yeah, well, you got a piece of corn on your face.
Still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Just bear in mind, this is not a parody film. It's not a satire. It's
No.
an actual comedy. It's
Kind of like some of his other comedies he did, like High Anxiety. It had a consistent story throughout it, done very well, but it has never, ever gotten the respect it deserves.
For me, this is like A Lady in Paris by Charlie Chaplin. Decided to get a little serious. People just brushed this aside. Almost nobody remembers that he even wrote it and directed it.
Right.
So this is Brooks's A Lady in Paris.
The difference is, though, Lady in Paris didn't have a whole lot of comedy in it at all. This Life Stinks still had a very fair amount of comedy in it.
Yeah, not like.
But again,
Laugh
just
Out Loud.
decided to be a little bit more dramatic comedy. People didn't want to accept it, but the thing is Mel Brooks is a comic genius no matter what he's doing. Honestly, I go back and look through all of his movies and I can't find a single one that I didn't like. So therefore, those of you who still to this day refuse to give Life Stinks the credibility it deserves,
How dare you!
for our next How Dare You, we're going to be doing a TV show. One that is honestly one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Starring Ted Danson, Becker.
Becker.
A show that had some success. It lasted 6 seasons, but was never really appreciated.
And Becker was Dr. House before Dr. House was Dr. House. Roadhouse.
That is true. Like, a lot of people talk about House and how innovative it was. I remember watching it going like, this is just Becker, but less funny. A snide, sarcastic, kind of a jerk doctor who deep down really cares. Which I related to because, well, I've identified with Becker in the sense that I am very sarcastic, I can be very mean, but deep down, I care.
I think an episode of BoJack Horseman said it best. The pieces were all there. They had it. It was perfect, except there was just something missing. That's how I feel. But even that something missing wasn't enough for the low rating that this show got.
See,
It deserved better.
I disagree. I think all the pieces were there. You want to know what I think was missing? The fact that it wasn't really advertised.
That too. That's probably the missing piece, dude.
When it first aired, it was on in good time slots, being on right before Everybody Loves Raymond, which was a top show at the time. After its 4th season, they moved it to Sunday nights, which is not a good night for television. Especially back then, when we didn't have the DVRs and everybody recording everything. You had to watch shows while they were on.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday nights, kids were getting ready to go back to school and adults were getting ready to go to work. So not a whole lot of people were up watching TV. You can find the seasons on DVD, but they're not everywhere like certain TV shows.
Although you can find it on Pluto.
Most people who ended up watching the show didn't watch it until its reruns, which actually was me. I didn't start watching the show until the reruns came on because I didn't even know about it.
Right? I'm the same way.
That was the problem, is there wasn't really a lot of advertising. If you didn't watch Everybody Loves Raymond every week and happened to catch the show that came on right before, you probably didn't even know about Becker. And it had a great cast. Besides Ted Danson, it had Shawnee Smith, who went on to be in the Saw movies as Amanda. It had Terry Farrell, who most nerds remember from her time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It had classic actresses like Hattie Winston.
Well, alright.
When Terry Farrell left the show, she was replaced by Nancy Travis. But even that transition, I loved how they did that one. They did it right. Nancy Travis came in before Terry Farrell left because they knew that she was going to be finishing out that season and that was going to be it. So instead of just doing the thing where, hey, it's a new season and we're just going to pretend this person never existed, they wrote somebody off the show while at the same time replacing them. So it was a smooth transition. They almost never do that.
Almost never.
I mean, heck, that show on Netflix, The Ranch, Danny Masterson gets fired in the next season. Oh, by the way, I'm here and I'm your long-lost cousin, played by Dax Shepard. But still, that's usually how they do it. They just up and replace them with something that's kind of improbable.
Yeah.
And even the last couple of seasons had Jorge Garcia, who most of you will remember as Hugo from Lost.
The only thing good about Lost was Elizabeth Mitchell.
What about Evangeline Lilly? She had Michelle Rodriguez. It had a smoke monster that they never really explained. But Becker was a great show. Very funny. It had a great cast that all played off very well together. Great chemistry. Even Becker's best friend, a blind man named Jake, played by Alex Dessert.
It's French, so I'm just going to call him dessert.
We'll say dessert, yeah.
That's more delicious. And then it also had, what's his name? Severio?
I'm not going to even try to pronounce it.
You might all recognize him because he was just recently in the newest episodes of Law & Order SVU.
It's just an all-around good show.
If you have the access, get Pluto TV and watch it. He is the better version of Dr. House.
He really is.
The original.
He really is, especially because Dr. House was just... Sorry, but in watching House, he was basically just a jerk to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Becker was a jerk because, yes, he was irritable, but it also came from a place of caring. Like, he wasn't just insulting people because they were stupid, but like he was trying to get it through their heads, like, hey, you're being dumb here. I'm trying to save you. It was peppered in with a lot of funny jokes.
Great half hour. Oh, the best half hour you'll ever have.
The fact that it didn't last longer than 6 seasons, okay, that's fine. Some of the best TV shows in the world only got like 6 seasons.
Or less.
Or less. It's just one of those TV shows that seems to be fading off into oblivion.
Right. Let me see.
Hi, I'm a city girl. Huh!
Japanese dubbing me? Really?
Or next, How Dare You? A classic movie that hardly anybody saw in its time, didn't get appreciated in its time, but in my opinion was one of Tim Allen's best movies. Galaxy Quest.
Sigourney Weaver and Sigourney Weaver.
Kind of knew there was no way around that.
No, not at all.
In all seriousness, this was a brilliant movie, poking a little fun at Star Trek fans.
But also bringing a major Star Trek fan fantasy to life.
Yeah, that was the thing. Most of the people who saw it and didn't like it were Star Trek fans because they were like, we don't like this, you're making fun of us. So they're picking on you a little bit. All the stuff I'm into, you don't think I get picked on about my hobbies? Take a joke.
These people are the worst, man. It's like Trekkies and fanboys, fans of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And now fans of Law & Order SVU. These people are fans of these characters that are about doing the right thing, good things, and not bullying people. Yet these people are bullying the crap out of everyone around them. You are literally going off the rails of what they teach you.
But again, what you were saying, it was kind of also them living out the fantasy, because at the end of the movie, spoilers, to figure out how to win the final battle, they call upon one of the nerds that is obsessed with their TV show, and he helps them.
That was a good nerd.
Right, in between taking out the trash.
And he let his mom know where he was going.
It also had a fantastic cast. Besides Tim Allen and Sigourney Weaver, it had the classic rest in peace actor, Alan Rickman.
That's one of my favorite all-time actors all across the board.
Oh yeah. Hans Gruber himself.
Rasputin.
The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Severus Snape.
Great actor, and in this, he plays an effete, snobbish actor who hates the fact that he got stuck, typecasted in a role for nerds, and then even fights like a dandy at the end.
Kind of figured him to be a cross between Spock and Sulu in that whole regard.
I may not be the biggest Star Trek fan, but I kind of figured him as like a cross between Spock and Worf. It had Tony Shalhoub.
From Wings.
And Monk.
And Stark Raving Mad. Oh wait, nobody would remember that great show because it died in its first season.
We'll get to that one.
Oh, yeah.
It had Missy Pyle.
Who probably got teased a lot for her name and as a kid. But she's still beautiful.
And it even poked a little bit of fun at like in Star Trek, you'd always have that ensign that was just there to die. Well, they had crewman number 6, played by Sam Rockwell.
Who?
Sam Rockwell. Great actor. He was in The Green Mile. He played Billy the Kid. He was in Charlie's Angels. He was the main villain in the first one. He was in Matchstick Men, the con artist that conned Nicolas Cage. He had a small part in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I remember that guy. Regular or menthol. Best performance in the whole movie. He sounded like he was actually from New York.
Because of those of you who couldn't understand the brilliance of this movie, or those of you who decided to go to the theater and watch something else that probably sucked, making this movie tank.
How dare you!
That's how it's done.
Yeah, you edit it and you choose. Jerk.
For our last How Dare You.
Dave, wait. Sorry. Kind of left you hanging on a cliffhanger.
It's Cliffhanger, a very great movie starring Sylvester Stallone that didn't do very well. And the common thing that people said about it was there wasn't enough action. Okay, so there wasn't enough one-on-one fighting, but there was plenty of action in this movie.
Yeah, a woman dies in the beginning.
And then they later used that death to parody on Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls with a raccoon.
They parodied that quite a bit.
But you want to know something? Even fighting one-on-one action, there was plenty of that in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It just wasn't Sylvester Stallone. It was Michael Rooker.
Rooker. The man!
The man who would go on to be Yondu.
The man who would go on to be... Damn, you took my line.
It had Leon from Cool Runnings. It was
Oh, yeah, he wasn't that.
And in this, more so than the last one, he was a badass mudda. Playing the lead villain. One of the best actors to ever grace the silver screen.
Did you just say lead villain?
Yeah.
Dude, he was the hero of the movie. John Lithgow.
He was the villain.
Hero.
He's just dumb.
John Lithgow is the most amazing actor out there.
He is. And that is the thing about John Lithgow. He's great in comedy. He's great in drama. He's great playing the hero in a movie. But he is fantastic at playing a villain.
Oh, yeah.
He comes off as so cold and so evil. He doesn't even have to be the Joker to be as entertaining as the Joker.
He is one of the few actors that can take a role that was made famous by another big actor and own it. Alright, you all think of William Shatner in that Twilight Zone episode with the gremlin on the plane wing. Watch the Twilight Zone movie with John Lithgow. He owns that the whole segment.
Owned it. Especially because you bringing up the Twilight Zone movie. My only issue with the Twilight Zone movie is most of the Twilight Zone bits they put in the movie, it was more like they were just copying stuff that happened on the show. But his segment, he took it and completely did something different with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's John Lithgow. And in this, again, just ice cold villain.
Ruthless killer. That's what a hero is supposed to be.
Basically, the premise of the movie is that these criminals who are being transported on a plane end up hijacking the plane, but things go wrong and it crashes in the mountains. So now they're trying to get out and get their money while taking hostage a rescue team.
Made up of Rooker and Stallone.
Now, granted, Stallone in the movie, I will admit, was, I wouldn't say useless, but wasn't like very important.
So useless.
Nah, he needed to be there, but
Well, yeah, because the heroes needed to duke it out.
honestly felt like to me in the script they could have cut his part out and just given it more to Michael Rooker, and it would have been just as good a movie. Maybe even better.
Yeah, he would have owned that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe even better, because I will admit that it was kind of like they put Stallone in there just because they wanted a big name. But even still, for the people that bash it saying it didn't have enough action, you are completely wrong.
It had plenty.
Plenty of action, great
Ice.
story, drama, excitement.
Ice.
Yes, ice, Sanka.
There was a lot of it, dude.
A lot of ice, yes.
I get cold watching it.
But for those of you who bashed this wonderful action movie that never got the praise that it deserved, go ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead. Trust me. Trust me. Do it.
Pinky swear.
Pinky swear, I will not put the Thunberg in there.
Or the Japanese dubbing.
Or the Japanese dubbing.
Okay. My moment to shine.
How dare you! Hee hee hee!
Seriously.
So there you have it. Life Stinks, Becker, Galaxy Quest, and Cliffhanger.
How dare you!
Hmm.
Hope you guys enjoyed this rendition of How Dare You, and if you did, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I post videos, and leave a comment. Tell us if you agree with our How Dare Yous. Tell us if you don't agree. Tell us some movies that you think we should say
How dare you!
too. Love you guys.